Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer Morrison, and this is the new Collective Conscious Astrology Report. Today is September 14th, 2019, and in the very early hours of this morning, we had a full moon in Pisces, recently conjunct Black Moon Lilith and Neptune, in opposition to the Sun in Virgo, Mercury and Venus in Virgo, Mars in Virgo, and Pisces, which is the opposite of Black Moon Lilith, representing man's irrationality in Virgo. And of course, Black Moon Lilith is the feminine aspect that refuses to be untamed, in conjunction with Neptune, and Neptune representing our dreams and our illusions in the dreamy, spiritual, transcendent sign of Pisces, the moon over there. So it's like practicality of Virgo, opposite spirituality and transcendence of Pisces, trying to find the balance between those two things. How do we purify Earth is in ourselves, is Virgo's concern, and how do we, become enlightened and transcendent and bring spirituality down to earth is Pisces' concern. So we're trying to find the balance between those two, opposing. They're opposing each other on the astrological wheel, but I don't think they're necessarily too opposing. I think both are really needed right now. So I've just been feeling this moon for days. Like, it's been so powerful. It wakes me up every night. The moon has been so bright. And of course, like Black Moon Lilith up there with Neptune is pretty intense as well. So, and so is Virgo. Virgo is super intense, and is actually my Mars return is Virgo. So, it's kind of a good place for Mars, I guess, because, as long as Mars is this masculine energy, but there's been a lot of masculine energy, too much masculine energy, you have too much destruction. Of course, the divine masculine helps the feminine create and supports the feminine to create life, but when the masculine gets out of balance, it just destroys. And is really just interested in freedom and self, more than supporting, everything and nourishing everything around it. So we need more of the divine masculine energy on the planet and less of the shadow masculine element. And women, need to get in touch with their masculine energy that enables them to create and to step out as a force in the world, even though that their essence may be feminine. So this is a very, feminine period, because both Pisces and Virgo are feminine signs. Both are mutable signs, and we also have Mars and Pisces in Virgo, which are and the Sun, which are all masculine planets or astrological elements, getting checked by the Virgin, by Virgo. And, so Virgo is the representation of the fall, coming into, the summer ending and coming into fall, into Libra. So it's a transitional time, and Pisces is the transition from winter into spring, and also represents the very last sign of the zodiac, which the zodiac can be seen as the wheel of life, with Aries, the baby, the beginning, and ending with Pisces, which is getting ready to leave this earthly plane and the earthly body, and come into transcendence and spirituality, and exit the body and exit Earth. But also, the wisdom that comes with reaching that level of life, and wanting to, kind of be a bridge between the earthly plane and the spiritual plane, and bringing, that element down to earth, which is seems to be really wanted by the forces that are being transformed, the masculine being transformed with Saturn in Capricorn, which represents external authorities, religious institutions, the father, being transformed by Pluto, is in a sextile to Pisces. So the spiritual element helping the transformation on Earth, and the conversation going on with Virgo and Mars and Venus and Mars in Virgo is in a trine to Pluto in Capricorn, which is in a conjunction to Saturn. So it's still a big Earth time. We have Uranus and Taurus, which is technology and freedom and chaos on the earthly plane. And really the highest level of that would be to use our technology to protect the earth instead of doing things that repress the earth and the people that live on the earth. So it's like using surveillance technology to find fires and people that are lighting the fires in the Amazon, as opposed to using surveillance technology to have all these little 5G towers radiating people right in front of their houses, and using surveillance technology to create social credit systems like you have in China, which is what the people in Hong Kong, who recently had a win against extradition to China. So that is part of the transformations of government and the unwillingness of the public to submit to patriarchal authority, because this is a time up until 2024, when Pluto and Saturn will both be in Aquarius, that our job on Earth, the astrological schedule, which is a way that we can look at the symbolism and see what are we supposed to be doing in our lives, what are we supposed to be doing as a collective on the planet to move to a better place, a more balanced place on Earth, which would probably help, maybe other dimensions and the rest of the universe. We don't know how what's going on in Earth affects us and who's visiting us and different aliens, and maybe some of them are trying to help us and some of them are trying to hurt us, and we don't know how important Earth is in the even larger scheme of things besides of just what's going on in the Earth or in our lives. So it's interesting that in 2024, Pluto and Saturn will be in Aquarius. At the same time, Neptune, which is in Pisces, has been in Pisces since 2010 and will stay there until 2024. Neptune will be going into Aries, so that is a new cycle of dreams and maybe a new cycle of illusions. But right now, with the grand Earth trine, we have Uranus that just started a new cycle, and Uranus is in Taurus. But when Uranus started its new cycle in Aries, which represents the beginning of the zodiac, represents the beginning of life, cardinal, male energy, the initiation, Aries, fire. When Uranus was in there in Aries, we had the beginning of social media in our lives, So this is like the power to the people. If we can keep independent media alive, we can keep our voices alive and keep algorithms from stopping us from reaching, a large amount of people. Or, even if we just all use it, even if we can't reach a large amount of people, if we all use the technology to spread ideas, that's going to help AI out, because AI is going to be able to learn everything in like a ridiculously short amount of time compared to how long it takes humans to learn things, because they're computers. So, but they are just learning what is in the world around them, just like a baby would. So if you have something to share, You know, if you have something that the world needs to know, that AI needs to know, help the robots not become the Terminator, and, you know, put it out there so they can learn, and maybe be benevolent robots, you know, because we got technology and it is like, you know, we got, it's coming down to Earth. We got Uranus and Taurus, so we need to make that technology help us and help us on Earth. And we have Sagittarius, which is linked to long-term travel and space travel. You know, and we have all these things going on with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the rest of this year pretty much in Sagittarius, and AI and space technology and 5G, and putting up all these satellites and changing the actual vibrations that are going around the Earth, to a higher and higher degree. And I mean, we also have things that we don't completely understand, like Schumann resonance, and like the hertz that the Earth normally is vibrating at around 7, and there's spikes in that, and you know, all sorts of things. But you know, there's been like blurbs of radio waves that have been peaking on the Earth too. So there's like a lot of incoming energy that we may not see, but I think we're feeling it. And Neptune in Pisces is having us feel it even more, because you know, Pisces is about becoming transcendent and spiritual. And from 2010 to 2024, we have this theme going on where we're all becoming woke, as you might say. So the axis between Pisces and Virgo is being squared to Jupiter in Sagittarius. Long-term travel, space travel, needing to use technology in ways that benefit us and that aren't dogmatic and overly idealistic as to you know, what we're going to be using that space travel to do. Because it's like, is it really going to be helpful if we just say the Earth is effed and we need to go to outer space, because you know, Earth is just going to end anyway, and we need to become, you know, going to outer space? I think that is a little bit you know, not really what we're supposed to be doing here on Earth, and there's no way we're all going to get off the planet. We can't even get people off the island of the Bahamas. So we need to pay attention to the Earth and realize we're all getting more aware of the impacts of our daily lives and how that affects the Earth, especially like last month when the moon was conjunct with Uranus and Taurus, and on that very day, everybody on social media was in an uproar about the fires in the Amazon. And the fires in the Amazon have been going on for many years. And of course, they are increasing under the current administration in Brazil. But that is all part of the awareness of the corruption. The corruption is becoming more apparent because we are meant to do something about it finally, instead of pretending that it's not apparent. Whether it's the people in Hong Kong, or you know, people talking about this whole idea of like globalism versus, I guess, sovereignty, and you know, the just ridiculous things that come from the current president of the United States mouth about women, and his connections to you know, Jeffery Epstien, the pedophile that was just mysteriously murdered without any proof given to the public of his video, or not that he was murdered, that he committed suicide, but I feel he was murdered, or he was taken away by some of his elite buddies, because he's got friends in very high places, and that's how he kept all these women quiet for so many years. So we should be questioning what happened to him. And I think with Venus and Mercury in Virgo going into Libra, all these women that found their voice against this guy who had a plane bringing the women to his sex slave island, on his plane Lolita Express, of which Bill Gates has been on it, Bill Clinton has been on it, Trump is friends with him, Prince Andrew. There's one woman in particular speaking about how she, at 16, was forced to have sex with Prince Andrew. And this is like, sex can be used as power, instead of like divine union. And so obviously when we have a whole group of people on the planet, or a certain group of people that are just obsessed with power, we have to realize that the sex is going to be involved with that. And we see that, with the trafficking of women, not just around Asia or, Europe, but it's very prevalent in the United States. And if you're a woman and you go into a gas station on a cross-country trip, you're going to see all sorts of stickers in those bathrooms, like, do you need help? Are you okay? Call this number. Are you being sex trafficked? Like, this is a way bigger thing, and it's being supported by the porn industry. And if you're watching porn, you might be supporting people that are in that industry out of servitude and bondage and slavery. My ex went to Afghanistan, and all the women there wear burqas, and they have female circumcision, and the boys are used for sex. They have sex with the boys because they are, before you're matured into a man, if you're a boy, it's like the feminine element, and they have power over you. And I think I talked about this on my last report. To get to the age of Aquarius, the myth of Aquarius was that he was a boy in Greece, and the Zeus saw him and wanted him and took him as a sex slave and a servant, and he was serving the gods water, and he is the water bearer, and he poured out the water, creating floods on earth and chaos on earth because he was being exploited, and that's what he did to get to freedom. So the whole imbalance of the earth burning, and the plastics in the earth, and the PCBs, and the geoengineered food that is only used so these people can use their pesticides and chemicals, which often have a link to their origins in Nazi Germany. Believe it or not, Monsanto just paired up with Bayer. Bayer had its beginnings in Nazi Germany, and as did a lot of the chemicals, or Agent Orange in war. So all these things are the shadow masculine, whether we're talking about the destruction of the earth, or unhealthy relationships between men and women, or exploitation of children sexually, or all these women tied to the elites. We need to realize that the male and feminine energies on earth need to heal, and we do that by finding the masculine and feminine energy within ourselves and balancing that, honoring both sides, and having a healthy relationship with ourselves, and having a healthy relationship with our partners and our children, and our, if you can, like our parents, and that will start to help heal the world. But also being aware of like what's going on in the world, but not getting so empathic about it that we're like freaking out and going into delusion, escapism, and spiritual bypassing, which is a big threat to the schedule that astrology is giving us as to like, how do we get to the age of Aquarius? We have to take care of the earth. And we have Jupiter in Sagittarius right now. Oh, let's just go to space, let's maybe get caught up in the dogma of that. So, we really need to take care of the earth and take care of ourselves. And I wrote this thing about the general, things that are going on in the planet and the earth right now. So I wrote, let's purify our bodies, minds, and soul while connected to our highest dreams, refusing to submit to patriarchal suppression. not getting caught up in dogma and technological space idealism, but focusing on what needs to be done on Earth to transform into a healthy planet, life, and society. So, I guess that's it for now. I could say a lot, but you know, I'll make another video. And actually, I think I want to make a video soon about acutapping. So it's a way of releasing energy, of giving yourself acupuncture, but instead of getting needles in your meridians in your body, you just tap your meridians. So look for that video and many other videos, and we'll be talking about health and wellness and many different topics on the new Conscious Collective YouTube channel and upcoming website I plan to have. So stay tuned, stay healthy, stay well, and I will be talking to you soon.